recording everything, so I'm gonna re-air it Monday.
Cool.
Yeah, Monday night.
Is it going out live as well, or cool?
Yep.
Oh yeah. That way we can say some shit online. Nobody can stop us.
Right. I'm just gonna have to do this with a camera, so. Big old heads in the way of the logo back there.
Where's the camera? Oh, is it from this?
Camera one.
Is it from your laptop camera?
It's this.
Oh, okay.
I got this
Not
camera.
that
one. Oh,
I
for
got
him.
this
Oh,
camera
yeah,
filming
yeah.
this way. And I got
This one, maybe down there, you might be able to get a shot of the whole everybody. I don't know, maybe. If your cord's long enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, sweet.
There we go.
Nice.
All right. All right, everybody. What's going on? This is Captain Steve-O here with my lovely co-host, Cosfancy. I'll show you her right here in a minute.
Is it this
Said
mic that I'm talking to, Steve?
No, it's this
No?
one.
Okay.
Morning, Tim. How you doing? His daddy.
Oh, hello, Daddy.
Hello,
are you
Timothy.
enjoying your coffee? Your morning spot of coffee?
So, good Memorial Day weekend for you guys.
That's right.
Appreciate everybody tuning in on this Saturday morning. It's early. I should be sleeping. Everybody should be sleeping. In studio, I got for the first time Christopher.
Hello.
And,
It's about time, right?
Right, yeah. And, well, Wade's been here before.
I have.
And Casey's visited, but he hasn't been on the show yet.
That's right.
So I got these guys in here. These cats right here. You know, they're gonna be the orange today.
I know. I was just looking at that. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And once again, I'm gonna give a real quick shout out to Brad Cohen from Buzz TV, who made this really killer twisting, spinning R's, 3-dimensional type thing. It's really, really cool. Cosfancy did the logo.
That's cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I sent it to him.
pretty
I sent
awesome.
that to him this morning, and he goes, "Okay, here you go. Thanks." All right, okay, cool, really cool. So, yeah. So last night was really cool over at the brewery,
Yeah.
Over Dam Brewery.
Yeah.
That
Thanks
was
for
really
coming
cool.
down.
Yeah, it was really. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We're sort of developing this sort of new sound and stuff, and I think it's starting to come together, and it seems like people are enjoying it. So I'll lean in a little more so you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good time.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
We always do those, but that venue is just like, it's like home to us. We've been playing that thing for probably 5 or 6 years
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, it was one of our very first shows we played there inside, and that was before, we were still having a hand drummer and stuff, So we've been playing there a long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll always be home out in Boulder City.
Yeah. Great vibe, great crowd.
Oh yeah.
So,
Hey, Dana just tuned in. How you doing, Dana?
Hi, how are you guys? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, good morning.
That was a great gig last night. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
The
for coming out.
harmonics were amazing.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
gentleman was amazing.
Yeah.
Andy did
I
really well.
appreciate
Yeah.
it
Really,
so
really
much.
good.
yeah, Luke Anthony is incredible.
He's
Like,
He's
mind
like on
blowing.
another plane.
I've
Yeah.
pretty much never met anybody as good as him.
I know, yeah.
Monica,
Really?
in
And
person.
he's so humble and sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
package.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he was telling me
It's
how
an honor
grateful
to
he
jam
is
with him,
to
man.
be able to do
Yeah.
that and to be able to share music with people, and
Right.
it's his life, and you can tell, and so
Oh yeah.
that
Definitely.
authenticity, is
Oh, yeah.
special. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we got we got new music all the way around.
Yeah.
you guys and from also from Second Echo.
That's
He just
right.
dropped a new
That's right.
a new one.
That's
Which
right,
is a
yeah.
great
The
single.
multi-talented Casey doing
Yeah.
everything out there. The front lines of rock, rocking your face every night, one way or another.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty funny. We got well, not funny. It's, you guys. I mean, you guys got. There's a lot of talent in here. So
Well,
you guys
I appreciate that.
I mean, it's just it really amazes me on how you guys, and then from being from two separate bands, just gel together.
Yeah.
Like the first
Yeah,
time I saw
yeah.
you guys play together, it was just like, okay, how long you guys been playing together? When he said one practice, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you know, it just clicked, and you know, we'll talk about Josh and Derek. They kind of decided that they wanted some other things. You know, they wanted some different things out of life. This, playing music is a grind, and it can, when you want to have a family or you want to focus on other things in your life, it's, and you got to put it on the back burner. And they decided that they wanted something else, and so we respected that, and we're, very supportive of. Them doing what they needed to do for them, and I'm still jamming with them back home and stuff. We played last week, and we had played with Casey once before, and it just clicked. We talked about, wow, this was so easy. It was so effortless. We were able to sort of read each other really well, and so when that sort of came to a head, the first person we thought of was Casey, and we said, hey man, remember when you drummed for us that gig a while back, and we're wondering if you want to be interested in doing it kind of full time. And so, we kind of did a little trial run, and it's been great. It's been really great, and I feel like we're really fortunate to have someone of Casey's talent.
Super fortunate.
Yeah. And we're all on the same page, and it's been a really positive experience. So
Right.
we're really fortunate, having a big change like that in a band can sometimes break a band, and we've just decided to just keep going forward, and we're changing our sound a little bit. I'm sure everybody's noticed I'm on bass all the time, and that's been a challenge, but I've actually really welcomed it. It's kind of made things a little fresher, and it seems like people are enjoying what we're doing, so hopefully.
And I did that for the last album. I did
Right.
the same thing. I was on bass all the time for the last album. It was like, that's what I like about our band is when I was saying to Luke actually last night about our band is I like that we change so much that it's almost expected from album to album that it's going to be different. Rather than disappointing somebody like, oh, it's not the same in the last one. People kind of expect our stuff to be different from album to album, and that gives us a ton of breathing room to do whatever the hell we want with our band.
Yeah.
And so when something like, losing a couple band members, which like he said, we respect that completely. When something like that happens, it doesn't break you. You just push forward and you just change your sound or adapt in the way you need to adapt, and you just keep playing music. The end.
So, and that's really what the band's about to begin with. The Scorched, the whole name, everything is about, coming through adversity and getting on the other side. And so, it really just keep going forward. You know what I mean? That's all you can do in life. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other,
Oh yeah.
It's when you stand still, things get really hard.
I mean, you guys did the same thing with this whole, this studio, the name, the website. I've known you for a while at this point, so it's when I started it was Revolution 2.0. You know what I mean? And now you got RevRadioVegas.com, and everything's changed, and you've revamped everything, and Kris left, and now you have another co-host, and it's the same thing with you. You adapted, and you kept doing your thing the entire time. You never stopped, man, and that's your life. That's a respectable thing. And it was the same thing with us as a band.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
Thanks. What up, Gary? What's going on, man? Gary Gage says hello to Casey. And what's up, fellas?
What's up, Gary?
Hello.
Gary Gage of the Scorched, really good dude. He gave us that guitar up there on the wall.
Oh, badass.
They signed it and everything, and he said, "Here you go. Thanks for everything you do." And
That's awesome.
I'm like, "Wow, that's cool."
That's
Blew me
super
away.
cool.
Dude,
He's
blew me
in.
away.
Gary's in what band?
Cure the Curse.
Cure the Curse. That's
Oh,
right.
yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's freaking cool.
They got a new CD out called Places.
Oh,
Nice.
So really good.
A lot of new music coming out.
I get muted. It's like, come on, guys. It's funny because I could have someone come in and play something live.
Yeah.
acoustically, and I'll get muted because it's
A cover.
your
It's really
your
music.
own.
Yes, yeah, it's really sensitive about that
And
stuff.
I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Actually,
come on.
Steven wrote this song. I'm just playing it.
That's a dangerous game to play.
Like, okay. All right, look, I don't own the rights, but I have permission to play from
I
the
also
band.
bought the song from Steven, but he wrote the song.
I couldn't play anything to save my life.
Like, what are you gonna do these days to actually put some music on these things? Well, excuse me for saying, but whose dick do you gotta suck to get music on your fucking Facebook?
Right. It's just, well, it's like if your guys' music is on like CD Baby or something, they will cut me off like that. And it's the same thing with like.
We're trying to
I had
spread the
Shane
music,
Knight
not suppress
in
it.
Yeah.
And his was the same way. He tried calling him up. He goes, "Look, why are you muting my song? I was
Wow.
like, I'm giving these guys permission to play it."
Yeah.
Nope, you don't own the rights. We do.
Wow.
So,
That's ridiculous.
oh yeah.
It's
we played at
it's very
Vamp.
convoluted.
Yeah. Gary said you guys played at Vamp together.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you
We
guys
all
were still
did.
on
Yeah.
Casey, we did that charity together as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
I remember Gary. I just couldn't I knew he was with one of those bands that we did at the charity.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which one though. Yeah. That was a great show. Yeah.
Yeah, Gary's a great guy.
Yep.
He actually gave us some tickets to the Silver Knights.
Oh, okay.
Was it Thursday
Yeah.
night?
Oh, nice. They're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was her first game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
she's like,
See,
I like hockey.
I grew up playing hockey.
Go
I
back.
started playing hockey when I was like 5. So,
But what's the Silver Knights?
It's the Henderson Silver Knights. It's
Oh, okay.
it's like the American Hockey League.
mhm.
Okay, I never heard of it. That's why I'm asking. I've never
I
heard
didn't
of it.
either.
Yeah.
Well, they used to be the Wranglers,
Okay,
I think. So they just kind of redid everything.
that's
I think.
cool.
That's
So,
cool.
they're gonna
Oh,
be-
hockey's a
they're-
lot of fun.
Oh, they're
So
building
I went to
a
the
new-
University of Maine. We used to go to the games for free, and we just watch people go and get pounded on skates. It's great, man.
Oh yeah, we saw
Harass
some-
the players.
Yeah, we saw somebody get knocked out.
Oh,
He got checked so hard.
The
He got,
back of his head hit
Oh,
the
that poor
glass.
guy.
and
Oh,
he's
man.
dude.
he just, yeah, the guy got.
It
his
can
guy.
get brutal. It can get really brutal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's the one. It's the one sport where they're like, "Well, we'll let you fight until one of you falls to the ice."
Just
You're
let
like,
them fight.
"Yeah, we're just gonna step back and you guys do your thing, and then once one of you falls, we'll stop it." That's literally the rule.
I
That's
was
what
gonna say. I was wondering about that the other day. I was talking with somebody because I'm not well versed in hockey at all, but that's the rule. So they just let them fight until one of them comes off their feet, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like one's
Alright.
going down or whatever.
Gotcha.
It's like WWE on
Yeah.
ice.
Yeah.
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 That's
But
kind of why like they
I
hold
mean,
on to each other so they can stand
Yeah,
up
yeah.
longer.
Yeah,
you
those
know?
dudes are holding each other up.
Yeah.
They don't have teeth. They're just like whatever.
Yeah, if you guys want to go tonight, there's another game, and he's got tickets.
Cool.
Oh, I wish.
Oh, when we went, we were like center ice.
Oh, that's great.
That
That's
was really
great.
cool.
See him
Wow.
drop the
Beautiful
puck and
seats.
stuff. That's great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was
That's
a lot
awesome.
Yeah, those games, being there live is especially a lot of fun for hockey
of fun. Oh yeah.
experience.
It's not as fast as the NHL, but it's still pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's
Like I said, I used to watch college hockey, and that was good enough. You know what I mean? And,
really.
Well, I
yeah,
think the
absolutely.
farm teams in the college hockey personally is more enjoyable because they're more hungry,
Oh.
you know,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
not so like, you know, you kind of see a little more nuance to it. I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
they're fighting a little harder for it. The guys doing it
They
as a
want some
job. It's
recognition.
just like,
Oh hell, they went.
clocking in, clocking out. They want to win, but they don't.
Well,
they don't
went-
fight unless it's like the playoffs, you know,
Yeah.
when they really go for it.
Yeah, they won 3-6.
That's awesome.
They had like four goals in the first period. Jeez. I'm just like, dang. I was like, man,
That's
those guys
awesome.
are.
That's a good. That's
That's
a good.
crazy.
That's a high scoring game.
Oh yeah, I mean 6.
That's
it was
a that's a
almost-
really high score
It
for a
was
hockey
almost
game.
a touchdown. It was
Yeah.
like 2 field goals. I don't know. I've tried to get into hockey, and I can get into it a little bit. I just don't understand all the rules
Yeah.
and stuff, and so it's just like, okay, so you can knock somebody into the wall. That's not illegal,
Right.
but you can't triple.
Yeah, you can't trim. Well, you can't knock them into the wall from behind. You got to do it in a certain spot.
Sides.
Yeah.
You used to play hockey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Kris
played
used
hockey
to
for
play
like
hockey.
over a decade.
Oh wow.
So he actually knows the rules. We're just talking out of our ass.
Yeah, I played defense. I was really small for a defenseman, but
Yeah.
It's okay, you're wired.
you can trip people if you do it right. You know, there's subtle things where you can kind of, trip them up without making it look like you did it on
You
purpose.
can't hook him with your stick.
There's a lot of that in hockey. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be like, but you can kind of put your stick under their skate and make them fall.
the puck's
you know.
If the puck's I
Yeah.
was going for the puck.
I was trying to.
It's the same in soccer. If the ball's there and you're going for the ball, it's one thing. Like, you can't slide tackle someone from the back. You know
And I
what
love
mean?
how in hockey they put you in timeout when you do something wrong, and they make you watch everybody play, and you're just like,
Yeah, we saw a couple people and the guy was just like,
yeah,
You just sit there and think about what you did.
yeah, for 2 minutes,
While your
and it's
team,
gonna be up there on the clock,
while your
and
team
you're gonna
gets pounded because they're one man down.
yeah,
This is your fault.
watch your buddies suffer.
oh, it's
Look at what you did.
taking somebody out and it's like, okay, all right, now there's no goalie.
Yeah, and when it's like a fight, they make both of you in the penalty box, but you have to look at each other. You're like right next to each other, but you can't fight anymore.
This is a piece of glass. Separate.
It's really petty. I love it.
Oh, hockey is so petty. Last night, this dude accidentally dropped his stick, and the dude from the opposite team, the Silver Knights, and I shouldn't say opposite team, but Silver Knights kicked it.
Yeah,
It was great. It was great.
Without their stick.
Yeah, that's
It was
like 3
amazing.
times.
Rather than pick it up and give it to the guy, kicks it across your ass. Like, go get it. Jesus.
Oh yeah, because all of them were all the Knights were going around and then they were just hitting the stick, and the guy from Bakersfield was just like,
come on, man.
Like, come on, guys. Guys.
yeah, guys, give me stick back.
I feel bad for the refs, you know what I mean? Because they have like no pads, and you see them like jump up on the boards when the puck, they're like, oh shit, and they're like trying to get out of the way.
Those guys are nimble.
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah.
It's like, are they figure skaters too?
Yeah, man, it was
Seriously.
the funny part about the whole thing was that oh shit, I forgot where I was going with that one. Yeah, the refs were funny. They were jumping up.
Yeah, they're always like,
But one
almost
thing
getting
one
checked.
thing I didn't know was I didn't know that if the puck's flying through the air, you could catch it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
put it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
I didn't know you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I thought
you,
had to
you,
hit it with the stick.
but when you put it down, you can't when you have to grab it like this and put it down. So if you like grab it and then hold it,
Yeah,
then
you
that's a penalty. So if
yeah.
you like switch your grip where you have it where you could like toss it, so you have to kind of like grab it and then
It's like
just
a trap.
drop it like that.
Oh, just kind of like,
Yeah.
like bat it down. Or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Okay, all right.
There's like little, like I said, it's kind of a
You
petty
can't just
game.
carry the puck
You're like,
across the
yeah, but
ice.
I was putting it down.
Toss
Like,
Except the goalie.
I just put it
right,
down.
the goalie
I
can
put
do
it down
kind of
into the
whatever
net,
they
no
want.
problem. Just
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, or you can't cross the line if the puck hasn't crossed the line. That's a penalty. But if the puck's 2 inches behind you, you cross the line before the puck, and
it's
and
offsides.
it's like they'll put their hand up and it's offsides.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like,
Now you guys know all the
did
rules.
somebody hike the ball somewhere that says offside? What's this? They're all skating in circles. What the
And if
hell?
you hit the puck all the way across the ice and nobody's down there, it's icing, and then you come back to the other side.
Mhm.
That's one of the weirdest rules, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
But
Because you smack the thing if no one's down there.
yeah,
it's like the
and the
goalie's-
goalie can come out and stop it, so they don't call that. But the goalie can also be like, nah, you go to the other side.
Oh, go play over there.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I don't feel like it.
I'm drinking some water.
Yeah, I got stuff to do over here.
I played goalie for a year. It was intense.
Nice.
We got to the
Screw
playoffs
that.
too, and it was like too much pressure. I was good at it
There
because
is
I
a
also
lot
did
of pressure.
karate at the time, so I was like,
Kicking
really
pretty
good
agile.
with my hands and legs,
Flexible.
and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but in the playoffs, I was like, I had that like pit in my stomach, and I was like, I feel like all the pressure's on you, and we had to have there was like a shootout, and then it's just you against the other guy, and you're like trying not to psych yourself out. It's too much. After that, I was like, I can't do it again. Even though I did well, I can't do it again. It's too much
Goalie,
pressure.
I'm all set on that. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So you brought out what'd you call last night, a fender base?
The Fender 6.
Yes, yeah, the
Fender
the Fender Bass 6. So it's kind of an older instrument. I don't Josh, if Josh is on, Josh would know the history better than me, but basically it's like exactly one octave lower than a guitar. So, but it's not a baritone; it's a bass. But yeah, they used to use it back in the '60s, and it kind of went out of favor. And then they started kind of reissuing them, and we grabbed one because we were kind of just two guitarists for a while, and it seemed like, and I had seen someone else play it in a previous band that I had been in. And I was like, yeah, I really like that instrument. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Yeah. It actually, you can put a tremolo bar on it too and get some really crazy shit out of it, but I got to buy one. It didn't come with one. So, but it's a really cool sounding thing. People are always like, what is that? Whenever we take it out.
You can do a lot of jazzy stuff with it. You can go rock with it. I mean, depending on what you're running it through, it has just a wide array of options because it's tuned exactly like a guitar is tuned. So if you're a guitarist and you're looking to go over to a bass real quick, it's a very, very simple and easy switch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can do fast leads almost like you're playing a guitar on it and you're getting the bass tones, and it's just really it's really, really cool to play that instrument. And you get an experience you don't really get out of most just playing a bass or playing a guitar. It's just kind of like a melding of the two, really.
Right.
And you get different sounds out of it depending on, if you put it through, because when we previously used it in the band, we put it through a guitar
You can hear it on Road to Nowhere.
Road to Nowhere,
that's
the
a very
recording.
good track to hear it on. It's on Odin.
Mm-hmm.
That
the solo in that is me
CD
playing on that bass.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Road to
That's
Nowhere
right.
is a good place to find that. So yeah, you can find that on iTunes or whatever.
Or a website, Scorched.com.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, no, you guys' sound sounded real kind of Doorsy.
Oh, nice.
Kind of thing. Kind of 70s, late 60s,
I dig that.
early 70s.
I was obsessed with the Doors for a few years.
We also had a harmonica player, which we never have last night, and that was
I really liked that element of things.
So did I. It was really cool, and it was
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? We'd never played with this dude before, and he stood in and
it wasn't really overpowering either. You could hear it, but it wasn't.
Right.
You guys weren't drowning him out, and he wasn't overpowering you guys either. It was really good.
And it's like you playing with somebody who can by ear figure out Boys of Summer on a harmonica the first time he's ever played it within that song, and by the end is playing the leads perfectly. You're like, okay, this guy is decent.
Yeah.
What did we hear him play Black Hole Sun the other day on harmonica?
Oh man, we should have brought him in here. I would have sang it.
It was great. He was playing out at the open mic night at the Tap.
Yeah.
And he just started playing. I was like, Casey, is he
nowhere.
playing Black Hole Sun on harmonica right now?
That's incredible, dude.
He came out of he was playing some other classical piece. I don't remember.
Well, that's his thing. Is anytime I play with him, he'll do this thing where even in the midst of my songs when he's playing, he'll just in a solo he'll break into these are a few of my favorite things from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or he'll break into some old classical piece. That's kind of his.
Well, he did that at your show that I saw at the Tap Room.
Yeah.
He broke into like a classical melody and did Bach and Mozart, and it went over some people's heads, but the people that realized it, their jaws just dropped. They're like, this kid, he's playing classical music on a harmonica, and it's insanely good.
And I love watching when he does that. I'll usually step back and just scan the room and see whose eyes light up, who sees, recognizes it.
Right. Because it takes people a minute, People are like, wait, and then it clicks, and they're like, oh my gosh, It's cool to watch that sink in. It's cool to see someone that dedicated to his craft and.
Oh, definitely.
He's very studious about his instrument. Very studious, yeah.
He's just got a case of harmonicas.
Yeah.
And this little amp and a microphone that has a what is it? An octave pedal or?
He's got an octave pedal hooked up to it to make it sound sort of like organ-y.
What he's doing over there, but
he's doing some next level shit.
Yeah. Nothing you've ever seen a harmonica player do.
With a little
yeah. He puts in phaser and delay and all these fucking things.
I was kind of watching what the hell is he doing? And it's okay, I could hear a little different. And it's he's got effects on his harmonica.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool harmonica.
It's not something you see too often.
Well, then
really cool.
he's talking about he has all these harps that were custom made for him, and they're gorgeous looking. And I'm it makes mine. I have a set of harmonicas. It makes them look like they were made by Fisher Price.
Yeah, exactly. That is so true.
Wow. That's funny. So Casey, so you're the second Echo song that you have coming out.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, right before lockdown, the band, we went into the studio, and we do a lot of home recording stuff, and so, but one of the things that's hard to capture is drums. So we went into the studio right before lockdown and recorded several songs on drums in the studio, and had planned on tracking everything. Well, then when lockdown happened, it was perfect. Like, we were stuck at home. We're like, hey, we can get all this recording done on these songs, and so we've got about 7 or 8 songs that are just kind of chambered, ready to release. And so we decided, hey, let's start here in May. And so a couple Fridays ago, on May 21st, we released Sunlight, which is the first of those 7 or 8 singles, or 7 or 8 songs. I'm still an album guy. Like, everything's going to end up on an album eventually, but we'll probably do 4 or 5 maybe. And then at some point we'll compile them all onto an album and do a full LP, you know, just because I love, to me an album is like a story that I want to paint that whole picture of all the songs together and in a very specific order. But I'm really excited about this song. It turned out really great. I've got my new bass player on it, who is just amazing. Like, Rick Robbins is his name, and he just, on the first album, I played everything on that album, and bass was like the one thing that I was really intimidated by, just because I played bass like as a guitarist, which is okay, but when you find somebody who really plays bass as a bass player, they hear things and do things that I wouldn't think of, and you definitely hear that on this song. Some of the stuff that he does in it, I'm like, yeah, I never would have come up with that. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because on your first one, you played everything.
I played everything on that one. Yeah.
And it even shows in the video.
Oh yeah,
Innocent
yeah.
video.
Which was such a like. I remember when we shot that video. So the song you're talking about is Innocent. There's a video on YouTube. It's a killer music video. But I remember shooting that day. We had this old abandoned warehouse, and the director that was helping me shoot it, he's like, I got this idea. We'll try. He's like, the only problem is, like, as we go throughout the day, the lighting's going to change, and I just don't know if it's going to work. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to set this camera, lock it off the whole day, and everything we film, it'll be, you know, this set locked off shot, you know. And so I would like play the drums, and I had grown my beard out for like a month and a half, so I had like full beard. I'd play drums, I'd shave a little bit, change my clothes, and then I played the guitar part and shave a little bit more, like do a goatee, and then I'd change clothes. And so we did that like 5 times. Well, then by the end of it was me clean shaven, you know, with singing, and we took all the footage, gave it to the guy who was editing it, and I go, you think we got it? He's like, I don't know, we'll see, we'll send it to him and see what he can do. Dude, he gave us the first cut of it. And the first scene where it came back and there was 5 of me in a room, it like jerked me. Oh my God, it was so like unsettling. But he pulled it off. I mean, he took all of this footage and just made it work. It's crazy.
That was really good. It was good. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, all right.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I was like, it took me a minute to go like, are they just really coordinated, or is this one person?
Yeah, because it was like, you know, because I saw them, I was like, okay, they all got similar hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but they're all different clothes. And then all of a sudden, you know, it switched to you and you're playing the drums.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right, that's Casey. And then you're singing. You know, it's your voice. I'm like, okay, now he's singing. All right, he did everything on this
Also,
thing.
Casey.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's like the most impressive like resume of a musician I've ever seen. I can do it all. See,
I have the proof.
There, the proof is right there, bitches.
Right.
I sometimes wonder though if like that's a good thing, but it also, I wonder if that's a testimony to like, nobody wants to work with me because I'm an asshole.
That's not the case.
That's not my experience so far,
That's
but
true. That can work both ways. It's all right. No one can work with them.
He has to do it on his own.
Gary says that video is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
It is.
Yeah.
One of my favorite reviews about that, somebody watched the video and they did like a little blurb in a magazine or something, and they said, they referenced this band of brothers. So I think they watched it and thought it was a band of me and my
Well,
brother.
you're like-
My brother who has dreads and my other brother who has dreads.
You're like,
I think they thought it was all
quintuplets.
different
Like,
people.
well, this is a real quintuplet set playing
Right.
music.
This is amazing.
What are
It's
the
great
odds?
marketing.
What are the odds? What are the odds? Dude.
If I had
This is Casey,
stumbled
my brother
upon
Casey, my
that
other brother
video, not knowing it was like from a band, I would think it was like some Black Mirror like clip.
Oh,
from
yeah.
an
Right?
episode.
That's funny.
So we gotta get. Speaking of that, we gotta get. I gotta get you some audio files to start playing the new tune, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will get that. And just to give a little plug for that, we decided to go a different direction with this one. So we're not doing this one on iTunes or Spotify or any of those. We've got it on our website, secondechomusic.com, and then Reverb Nation and Bandcamp. That's the only 3 places you can get it to download.
Oh, okay.
So go there, but I will get you waves or MP3s or whatever you want, so you can start spinning it. Yeah.
MP3 works. I'll put that up in. Yeah, because I got your whole Second Echo, your first.
Okay.
CD. I got the whole ones up, just like all your guys' stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything goes up. All the independent stuff goes up on the
Hell yeah.
on the site and gets in rotation.
Well, speaking of new shit, we finally got the masters back for the
Nice.
LP. So Reckoning is coming out soon. We'll get you some tracks now that we've got the masters and stuff, and we can get
Oh, yeah.
stuff started rotating. And
Yeah.
but we got to do album art and get that stuff going. But we're
Yeah.
finally towards the end game
Yep.
on
Yeah.
that. It's been a long road.
Sure has. Sure
That's
has.
really cool.
So
Yeah.
That's really cool. So any future plan? You gonna be on the next album?
I'm thinking
We're hoping
probably.
so.
That's,
In fact, we were talking about that.
yeah,
a
we
little bit
talked about that last night.
Just because I was joking with Kris, like I play bass like a guitarist, I play drums like a lead singer. You know what I'm saying? Like there are tons of things that from the recordings and even stuff on some of the rough recordings you haven't officially tracked. I'm like, there are things that he's doing that I want to punch and accent just because I hear what he's doing, and I'm not playing drums as a
drummer.
background guy. Like I
Yeah.
kind of want to. I want to sync
Accentuate
really
that
tight
stuff,
with those guys. So the couple of rehearsals where we really sat down and dissected the material, it's changed a lot of the
It
material
is,
quite a
yeah.
bit. Yeah, I feel like for the better. So on the stuff that's not recorded yet, yeah, I think that's the plan, is to go in and really hone that stuff. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really nice. I feel like this new sound is developing really nicely, and like Casey said, when we had some time to really kind of dissect some things and really break it down and go, think about changes, think about how things are coming together. How pausing the drum or bringing the beat back halftime can highlight parts of the songs and crafting it that way. And it's exciting. I'm excited to do that, and I'm
And to
excited
get into new material with somebody who thinks that way is exciting too.
Yeah.
Like Breathing the Mold, which we did last night.
That's
is
a new
song
song.
I basically no other drummer has worked on other than Casey. Casey's been the only drummer on that one. So what you're hearing is a from scratch song, which is refreshing. You know what I mean? Because we're not trying to like break old habits or think about how things used to be or anything like that. It's just how it is. It's how the song has always been, basically. So at this
and
point.
we've always wanted every part of the music to come together as a whole, and so it's great that Casey's really thinking of, how the drums can enhance the song and not just keep time, and I think that's, it's exciting for me, for sure.
Yeah.
I really love the rhythms and how it kind of gives some of the songs a little bit of a tribal feel, which is like I'm super, super into that,
Right.
Merchant of War, for instance, last night I was watching your video of it, and the way that the bass and the drums were coming together, and that song specifically, like you were talking about, there's a part in the transition where you kind of like stop, you do a kind of a hard stop with the drums that highlights the vocal, like you were talking about, and I really love how that comes out. So I'm excited to work on more stuff like that with the new music. And another new song we played last night was Silence. That was the first time we'd ever played that all together, and I think we're just all right in the same headspace, because it's coming together pretty pretty effortlessly.
It's really. I mean, you don't really get that with guys that have just started playing together. That normally takes a long time to you guys know every little thing, but I mean, you guys are like I said, you guys are really talented in your own right, you know, individually as well as a band. Sure. And it's I think it's great.
I agree.
Like I said, I mean, every time I see you guys have a different sound. Not every single time, but you can see the development in it, and it's you get the creeping up my spine vibe.
Yeah.
And then you get this whole new thing on the very next song.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is something new, and then you play a cover, and even that cover sounds different.
Yeah.
You know. I think that's the first time I heard you guys do Boys of Summer.
Yes, that was the very first time we ever played it live. It was like a week and a half ago. Wade sent me a recording, and I was like, "We're playing this. We're playing this at the show." So we about a week and a half prep, and it came together.
That was the first time I've ever played that song. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, obviously.
Other than the other night when we did it like acoustic, and my guitar went.
Oh
out.
yeah, that's right. That's right. We did do it at open mic, didn't we? Yeah. But I forgot about that. But yeah, that was one of those. It's one of those iconic songs you've heard about.
You just know it.
You just never sat down and played.
Yeah.
Played through it. Yeah.
And that's one of those things. It's like that's why you got to play it at a place like that. It's like
Sure.
everyone knows that song. You might as well get people dancing a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we always try to give our own little vibe for the covers and stuff. And,
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't me that shouted out Freebird.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Else.
Oh, I heard it.
See,
You said it twice.
There's always
We ignored it.
There's always one joker.
Oh yeah.
there was a time we would punish people by actually playing it,
Yeah.
because Josh obviously knows Freebird, and people say it and they don't expect you to do it, and when you get
you
people
do it,
where
they're
they're
like,
like play
"Oh,
Freebird," and we're like, all right, and then you play it and then they're like, I didn't think you would actually play it.
My running joke always when somebody says that is I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna play the 18-minute version. But so help me God, if you so much as get up and go to the bathroom while I'm playing this, so help me God.
I will stop
I will
playing
stop.
and wait till you come
Yeah.
back.
I will strike you over the head with my guitar.
I will follow you into the
You got to treat him like a hockey player.
That's right.
You know, you're gonna
Yeah.
sit there.
You just end it real quick and you say, "Here's a free bird."
Freebird.
Yeah.
What's
No
really
charge.
funny is when you go to a Leonard Skinner tribute, and that's the last song that they do. You guys have been screaming this all night, so here you go.
Everyone wants to be an original Joker, right?
Yeah.
I bet you I'm the first person to ever ask this band to play Freebird.
I keep saying it just to get it Wade, just to Wade will go, okay, here you go.
Yes, I actually I demand that you do the crank style, so it takes a second.
Right. Or do the figure
Ratchet.
style.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, this is great. I love this. And we haven't had time. We don't get this very often, where you can just sit down and just bullshit with people.
Yeah,
It's true, man. I mean, you and I were saying before we started, like we've been trying to do this for like months.
For a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been probably about a year and a half.
Yeah. So, finally, getting in here. And
we
stuff.
get Wade all the time.
Yeah.
But Wade's the type
Amazing.
of guy that's just like, yeah, I'll come down.
Yeah.
I gotta get part of the Scorched.
Oh yeah, well I love coming in here, and I love the mutual support we've always shown for each other, man, and
Right.
the friendship that we have, and that stuff is like,
That's the key,
Hey, man,
man. That's how you
exactly.
build a scene. That's how you
Right.
you got to come together as artists and as contributors to the music or whatever that you're doing together, and that's another great thing about having Casey in the band is we want to do shows with Second Echo, and
Right.
creating a scene I feel like is so important. Like I come from the 90s, so Seattle comes to mind for me.
Right.
Those guys supported each other. They went to each other's shows. They, that's how you create hype. That's how you get people to go. That's how you create talk, And it's been hard. We've been wanting to do that since the beginning of this band, and we instantly clicked with Casey, and so it seemed like a no-brainer. But, collaborating with you and other people that, contribute to the scene, that's what it's all about, bringing people together, doing it together. It's, you know.
I do. I try to make as many shows as I can, and it's hard when you have three bands that are really, really good.
Yeah.
And that you want to see all three bands play the same night all over the valley. So it's like, okay, do I spend 10 minutes here? Do I spend 20 minutes here?
That's what it goes, too. And there's good bands every night.
Yeah.
And I'll catch you guys next time.
Well, that's why that last Vamp show right before COVID was so awesome, because we had so many really kick-ass bands that we wanted to play with all in the same place.
And you get a good central venue where like people that we know a lot of times go to anyway, so it's not hard to get people to go there. Whereas like Boulder City they have their own built-in crowd. Boulder City, and the nice thing is like when you guys come out, it's like it just adds such a nice element to it, where it's like you actually have people in the crowd that you know, and if I happen to screw up, which never happens, but if I happen to screw up, you're not going to judge me too harshly.
By opening your eyes in the middle of a song?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I have to see what's going on.
We give him so much shit over that because he plays with his eyes shut the whole time.
That's how you get a guitar.
You can't look at it. If you look at it, it becomes real, and then it all falls apart.
You have to just close your eyes and see the music in colors like Jimi Hendrix.
See, I used. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, wait a second. So, what was your take on last night's show? Last night.
Okay. It was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I liked the song that you played. It was it was off of your guys' album. That's like the most indescript way of saying that. I can never remember the names of songs.
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay.
It was like.
Is it off a recent album or?
Yeah. Yeah, you
it's one of your brand new ones.
Oh, okay. Maybe either The Rise or...
Yeah, The Rise.
Okay.
That one was really good. I liked that one a lot. I liked the tone of it.
Nice.
The vibe was really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song's had a few iterations. But it's hard to tell when you're on stage. You don't know how everybody's how it's being received. You know, you just hope that people clap when you're done, because you can only hear certain parts when you're on stage.
Right, I'm on stage
depending on where you're standing,
and then I'll look back later and be like, it wasn't so bad. Now that I'm looking at it from like an audience point of view. But sometimes when you're on stage, you're like, this is going all wrong.
Yeah, you're
right.
just praying that your muscle memory's working out. You know?
I hope this is translating better than I'm feeling about it, and then a lot of times it is, thankfully. But you know, that's when it's nice, like to have someone like you in the crowd. Like I said, you actually have video footage. You can look back and be like, did I suck as bad as I think I did? Okay.
Yeah, and
it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad.
So speaking of that album, I'm playing it like basically completely different than I played it on the album, but it still is the same, you know. And that was one of the songs Casey and I kind of worked on when he was down in Arizona a couple weeks ago, and you know, concentrating on how it comes together. And I think it's even closer to where we wanted it now than we had intended before. So yeah, I'm really glad you enjoyed it. That's good to know, because like I said, we're sort of starting from scratch in a lot of ways, you know, having to redevelop things and you know, stay true to us, but also, you know, we have to think of it as in a new way. It's a new band, and it's a new sound, and
but everything's new right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything's new. Everything's coming back, and if this is gonna happen, it's the perfect time for it. You know what I mean? Because everything's new and everything.
With everything opening up with COVID,
right? Totally.
Now's the perfect time to revamp.
Now's the perfect time to rebrand, revamp. You know, cultivate a new scene. Right. Play with musicians you've never played with. You know, just keep an open mind and open heart, and go out there and bring the music back.
Yeah.
I had 2 or 3 people come up to me last night and say, "Oh my God, it's so good to see live music. Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I didn't even have to be that good last night. I think these people would have liked it. You know, I really do. And
but that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
You
know? And they just want the connection. They don't need you to be Mozart necessarily. They just love to have the music in the air. They just love the connection, and they just love the feeling.
Having a good time.
And I just got that vibe. And the last time I played there too, and ever since I've been able to play, since things have opened back up, that's the only vibe I'm getting from people, is they're just so relieved and happy to be out.
Because everybody's been so just stay home.
Yeah.
I mean, cabin fever is a real thing, you know, and it's hard to do that and be isolated from your friends and your family and everything else, you know.
Yeah.
Anybody got an electrical tape?
Dude, did you see the sun downstairs?
That's awesome. No, fresh out.
That's why I have the sign downstairs that says on air. But, you know, crackheads. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, wasn't that your dad, bro? Jesus Christ.
No, I don't live with my dad anymore. No. He's old enough to be my dad, but no. He's not my dad.
Oh man.
Okay. That's going to be live radio. What can you say, right?
See, that's the stuff that makes memorable shows, though.
Oh,
you know?
Like, wait a minute, where are you? We're in the studio. Really, honest to God, we are. Yeah. But no, it's that's hilarious. Oh, it's funny.
But yeah, like just seeing people have a good time, and especially like our last show where his name is Cole, that kid that was there that really enjoyed the band. Like
That was amazing.
seeing people seeing him get excited about the band and being able to like give him the experience that I would want at his age, you know, because I was super into music and I grew up in small town Maine, you know, like 10,000 people in my town, and that was a big town in Maine, you know, and to go see shows, you had to go to Boston. I wasn't going to Boston. Like, there's no way for me to get to Boston. You know, it was rare to see a show, and I remember, in fact, my very first show. I went to see Green Day in Lewiston, Maine. It was in a hockey arena, and I was like 15, and my buddy, who was older than us, had just got his license, and he borrowed his family's like 15 passenger van. He's got a huge friggin' family, you know, and so he's just got his license, this huge ass van, a bunch of fucking 15-year-olds piling into it, driving an hour to Lewiston, you know, recipe for a disaster. And I remember running down to this place called, what was it? It was, it wasn't the Record Connection, but it was this little record store just to buy tickets to this Green Day show, and I begged my parents to go because it was like last minute. You know, we put this together last minute, like we need to go, and so I ran down there, bought these tickets for like $30, and it was an incredible night. You know, and we went there, and like I was probably from Me to You to the stage. You know, and this was on their Nimrod tour.
Okay.
Oh, that's a great.
Yeah, and who opened for? I think it was Sam I Am opened for them, which is a kind of a old, obscure '90s band, which was really good. But there was a part during the show where
Pretty obscure. I never heard of those guys. Sam I Am?
Yeah,
I have to check them out.
they're good. But there was a part during the show where Billy Joe is like talking, and I'm standing right in front of Mike Dirnt, and he leans down, literally, and I'm like From Me to You, and he leans down, and he just says, "Doing all right? You having fun?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, man." And he's like, "All right." And they just started, and like that memory, like that experience was just so huge for me. That he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to give a shit about me. But he just saw me, and he probably saw me just like, holy shit, you know, because I was obsessed with this band when I was younger. You know, Dookie was like my outlet in a small town, you know, and so to see that, to have that experience was so special to me. So for me, when that happened at that show with Cole, that's what I think of. I'm like, no, this is a moment to give this kid a really cool experience and like treat him like royalty. And you know, it's so special, and that's what it's all about, is people coming up and being into the music, you know, and really being able to get away from their lives for a minute, you know, and not have to think about their bullshit. Right. You know, and you can provide that and give them joy and give them, you know, something that maybe they don't get every day.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
he walked over and he goes, "Are you doing sound for them?" I said, "No, I'm broadcasting the show." And he goes, "Oh." So he goes, "So I'm on air?" I said, "Yeah, actually you are."
He probably
everybody can hear you talking. So, hey, let me put the camera on you this way. So you go, and he starts talking. So you know, on interview, it's like do like a little interview with him.
That's awesome.
And he's like, "Oh, that's really cool." So later on, when me and Wade walked around the corner, and his mom goes, "That was really cool, thanks." I said, "No problem." And he's just I mean, because it's just, you know,
That's
like
what it's
you
all
said,
about,
it's
like you
just-
just said, man.
it's an experience
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll remember that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I met my band that I just really, you know, I've loved them since they first came out in 2000. You know, Tantric.
Oh yeah, Tantric's a fucking
Spending-
awesome band.
Spending
dude.
time with them for 10 days, being on the road with them, and really,
Oh shit.
really getting to talk with
That's
them.
fucking
that was
cool.
awesome.
Get in-depth, you know, interviews that you won't be able to get
Yeah.
anywhere else because most interviews are so structured, especially with, you know, guys like him.
Yeah.
They're so structured. And I saw the one that the podcast you did with him.
Yeah.
And Hugo's just a great guy.
Dude,
He seems
He's-
very
he's-
down to
he's-
earth
he's
because I watched
amazing.
that too.
yeah.
He's an amazing dude.
And what's crazy about him was like, so somebody through my label like helped me set up that interview, and he was on his tour bus. They were on their way to a show, and when he first got on to Zoom, I was like, "How long do I have you for?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe like an hour or so." I was like, "That's perfect." I ended up being on for almost 2 hours with him. We
Yeah.
did the interview, and then afterwards for a good 20 or 30 minutes, we were just, you know, just talking like, "Oh yeah, like send me some of your stuff. I'd love to hear it." I was like, "Oh cool." He's like, "Yeah, and if I'm ever out west, maybe if you ever want to do some co-writing or something." I was like, "Are you serious?" Wow. And it was just like this. So yeah, Hugo and that whole band just seemed very accessible and just super awesome.
Hugo,
guys.
Jared,
Yeah.
Baz. I know they had a new drummer. They're always changing drummers.
Yeah.
But you know, Jared.
They have such a cool sound.
And
I've always
Baz.
really appreciated that about their
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
What's really funny, I got to interview Baz's dad
Really?
over at the Backstage Bar and Billiard. He's with a band called Freak Show,
Okay.
and so I got to interview.
That's
Frankie.
cool.
So that was really cool. He was hilarious because I spaced on Kiefer's name, and I said yes. I said, yeah, man, you guys got that sound like, you know, Cinderella. And he goes, really? What's the guy's name? And I completely spaced. Dude,
Just
get
put
some
you right
respect.
on the spot.
I know. I'm like, oh my god. It was one of my earlier interviews and stuff. And I was
Yeah.
with my little brother, and he's taking pictures and stuff. Really cool guy though.
Yeah.
And so he goes after the interview. He goes, I'm just fucking.
That's,
Oh, and I know.
you know, but there you go. Then you
But
got a
still,
memory.
you
Yeah.
mean, Because I almost said Kiefer Sutherland. I knew it was Kiefer something.
Right,
something
right.
Kiefer.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it. Even my little brother goes, I'm gonna help me out here, and he goes, I forgot the dude's name.
See, I can relate to that. I'm horrible with names.
Oh,
So am I.
I'm
People
horrible
are
with
like,
names.
you don't know who this person is. You're a musician. I'm like,
Just like
so
I
why I gotta
called
know
Luke
everything
Andy.
just because I play.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, Nanny. You go, oh yeah, you mean Luke Anderson? Okay, that's where I got the Andy. Yeah, all right. Sorry, dude.
I didn't read that issue of Guitar World. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's great. I mean, but yeah, but meeting people like that. I mean, it's just like it's one of those, almost one of those fanboy moments. You
Yeah.
just sit there and just like, and actually seeing him behind the scenes and at a show. He played a show. Hugo played a show in Seattle to 20 people.
Wow.
20 people. I mean, this guy did no promo at
Yeah.
all.
Just as like
Yeah.
I'm gonna play.
So, yeah. Well, no. The venue didn't do any promo at all.
Oh, okay. So
I
it
mean,
wasn't
there
like
was-
last minute. It was
No,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was on their tour, and so he played there, and just like, and they were warming up. He broke a tooth.
Oh shit.
Wow.
I had to run around Seattle trying to find Ambisol for him. Came back, he put the whole thing in his mouth. Q went on stage and performed like he was performing to
Yeah.
10,000 people.
That's awesome.
And that's what you gotta
And it
do.
was just,
Yeah.
and just killed him.
That's awesome.
And you could tell he was in pain too, but he was sitting there and he was just, because his jaw swelled up a little bit, and we were filming and stuff, so that I was filming him we were doing the video for Letting Go, and we filmed it
nice.
in different
Yeah.
different places. So as I was filming him, I always get this side of his face, and I caught part of it on one side, and you can see he's wearing a white t-shirt, and you can see it in the video. you see his cheek just a little swollen.
It's all chipmunked out.
And it was, yeah, just a little bit, and then it switched over to the other side.
Yeah.
And so he's a really great guy, really great
That's
guy
awesome.
to talk to.
See, that's good to hear, man,
So-
because that's what you want out of your musicians. You want them to be
Oh, yeah.
like kind of wholesome, even though they rock out and do crazy shit. Like you want them to be really cool when you meet them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, and I have a love-hate relationship with, well, not a relationship, but, like Lars from Metallica. Like, I don't like Lars, but at the same time, like, I'm like, okay, would Metallica be Metallica without Lars? I don't know. But what I think about is Lars brings that up a lot, too, in interviews of talking about when he was able to, like, meet Motorhead and how, like, influential and how huge that was for him when he was, like, younger. And I just think it's such a big deal, you know what I mean? You got to be accessible to people.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be real. Isn't that that's like the point, right? Playing music, you got to be real. If you're not real, then people are gonna pick up on that real fucking fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's an experience I had when I was in the Army. We went and saw World War
I didn't know you
Live.
were in the Army, dude.
Yeah.
I was in the Army too.
Yeah. I was stationed over at Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Oh shit, yeah. I was at Fort Sam Houston for a little while. I was at Fort Bragg for a little while.
I always wanted to go to Fort Sam.
Yeah, Fort Sam's fucking cool, dude. I had a good time at Fort Sam. With some
Medical
crazy
school-
shit on the
medical
Riverwalk.
Yeah. Yeah.
People filling their camel packs full of fucking liquor and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had some crazy times at Fort Sam.
Oh yeah, I've heard. Yeah, we saw it was during the Worldwide Live tour with the Scorpions. Bon Jovi opened up for them. They had Runaway. They had a signing at one of the little mall things. So me and my buddy went, and just to go see if the Scorpions were gonna come up. We really wanted to go see them.
Right.
I was like, okay, so we're sitting there, and Bon Jovi's there, and Richie Sambora, and all those other guys. There's this girl who was like, I was probably about 12, 13 years old, just totally in love with Bon Jovi. And she's sitting there just staring at him, and he's paying attention to some older girls. And he's just doing that, and all of a sudden he just kind of just passed right over her. She kind of just dropped her head down and walked away.
Man.
She had a really cute mom. And then, and I just witnessed this. I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I'm just like, I was kind of douchey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Richie Sambora went up and he kind of tapped Bon Jovi. He's like, come here. So they all kind of huddled up. And I kind of overheard him. He goes, without the youngest fan, we wouldn't be here. He goes, you better go
You
apologize.
checked him. Nice.
And checked
Good.
him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So he went over there and saw her mom. He kind of went to the mom, and Richie kind of he hit him.
Come on, man.
Yeah, those were the times,
Seriously?
right? Yeah, they would.
I mean, back in the
Fucking,
80s.
yeah,
that
that's
a
what was
big
all
deal.
about.
But it was pretty funny. It was just like nice, and I got to meet Richie Sambora. So I met him and said hello. So
That's
that
cool.
was pretty cool.
That's really
what
cool.
you did. And he goes, what? I said, with the little kid. He goes, oh, you saw that? I said, yeah. He goes, well, anything for our military guys, you coming to the show? I said, yeah, we're going. He goes, all right, cool. Maybe we'll see you out there. I said, no, you won't. I'll be way in the back.
Yeah.
I got nosebleed seats. That was one of the last tickets that I bought. I bought the last 3 tickets.
Oh man.
That the store had. And
Wow.
that was in Hinesville, Georgia.
Wow.
And we had to go to Savannah to do it. And that was a pretty good
That's fucking
concert.
cool.
Hell yeah. Sounds like it.
Nosebleeds. I was really into Dave Matthews. I still am, but I super into Dave Matthews. In the '90s and early 2000s, and I got the opportunity to see him in Foxborough. I think I was like 20, maybe 19, and we got this place in Foxborough. It was like 2 miles from the venue, from Foxborough Stadium. And we were like, we're just gonna walk. We're gonna get drunk, and we're gonna walk to the, we're just gonna walk to the show. And it's New England, so summer in New England, you're hit or miss on the rain or not. So of course it was fucking raining. But we were drunk. We didn't give a shit. We're gonna go see Dave Matthews, and so you got the stadium right. We're like, 300F. We're like way the fuck up here. It didn't matter,
Right.
So we're walking to the show, and it's pouring rain, and we're having a fucking good time, And all of a sudden this Saab like pulls up because everybody in New England owns a fucking Saab, you know. It's this Saab pulls up and we're like, what the hell? And so we're walking up and they're sitting there and so we walk up beside and the window rolls down and this guy leans and he's like, you guys need tickets? And we're like, sure, you know, I mean, it's got to be better than what we have. We got fucking shitty tickets, you know. He's like, here. So we take them, and he drives off, and we don't think anything of it. Put them in our pockets, and we keep walking. We don't even think anything of it.
Free. He gave it to you for free.
Yeah, and we're like, all right, cool. If it's shitty, we'll scalp them or something. Who cares, you know?
Right.
So we get up there, and we're like, oh wait, we should see where these tickets are at. We look at the tickets, and it's row 12, section A, and we're like, is this fucking for real? You know, I'm expecting to go up to the booth and then be like, this isn't real. What the fuck is this? You know?
Yeah. Give me your real tickets.
Lo and behold, it was real, man. And they escorted us in, you know, through the venue. We're on the fucking floor, all the way up, row 12. I can see the color of Dave's eyes, you know? Like, I was like, holy shit. And it was an incredible show. They played like 2.5 hours, but it made me think of that, the nosebleeds thing, and it's a cool story, you know. But
the random guy in the middle of the night giving you tickets to the 12th row. It's
we didn't even ask the guy's name. We were just like, yeah, sure.
It was Dave Matthews. Disguise. You guys look like you have a good spirit for this show.
It was his brother Steve.
Steve Matthews.
Steve Matthews.
Doing his bidding.
Yeah.
Go out and find some kids that look like they deserve these tickets.
Yeah, he's probably, look at these guys. They walk in 2 miles of this. They're soaking wet. They deserve some fucking tickets.
Awesome.
Dang. So tour-wise, what's your favorite tour?
Favorite tour, like, of ours?
Yeah.
Well, probably our one national tour. That's definitely my favorite. We decided it's been freaking 4 years now because we've been stuck in the studio. But 4 years ago, we decided that's it. We're going to go all the way to Maine and back and be able to see some of our relatives, you know, like my grandparents and stuff that would never get to see us play. You know, and be able to share that with them. You know, coming from a small town, Maine, like Wade comes from an even smaller town than I did, you know, and thinking about where we're at now and playing in Vegas, and like that was a pipe dream growing up, you know, playing in people's basements at 15, banging on guitars, playing punk music, and you dream of doing stuff like that,
Right.
you know, but it doesn't seem real when you're in Maine. It's isolating, you know. You can't, for instance, you can't go to Maine without going to New Hampshire. You have to drive through New Hampshire to get to Maine. That's how isolated Maine is, you know. You can't, or you have to come from Canada. You know, so we decided, you know, our family's like that too, and we wanted to give them that experience and thank them for, you know, supporting us.
Yeah.
I got my first guitar by selling a snowmobile and then begging my grandmother to take me to the local music shop to buy a guitar kit. My dad didn't want me to buy it. This is my dad's mom. And I begged her. I was like, Grammy, please, like, you gotta take me down there. I got like $200. Like, I really, really want to play guitar. And, you know, my dad was pissed at me for selling the snowmobile. You know, but my grandfather had given me the snowmobile. My grandfather was supportive of the music thing. And he's like, you do what you feel like you want to do. And, you know, and so I had to do that. You know, my grandparents are in their 80s. And I had to share that with them. Like, I'm here because of you, you know. I'm gonna get all emotional over that shit.
Yeah,
but
our family's
anyway,
always been like, you know,
yeah.
especially that side of the family has always had music and has always been immersed in music and passed it on to us, you know.
Yeah, like your grandmother, always singing at reunions and
Yeah.
stuff.
You
There's
guys are
always
related,
music.
right?
Yeah, Wade's my cousin.
Cousins.
Yeah.
Our grandparents are sisters.
Yeah.
So like my grandmother was always in bands and singing and like a musician, and like naturally like your grandmother was around that all the time, and
Yeah.
you know, she supported it. I'm guessing that's a big reason why she was like, yeah, I'll take you to the music shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she knows it's an obsession. Like my grandmother just gave me her Martin that she cannot. The only reason she gave it to me is because she can't even play it anymore. She's 90 years old. Like
Wow.
you know, but she bought this thing in 1970
Right.
and imparted it onto me, and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is my most prized
That's like
possession at this point.
The holy
Oh, yeah,
grail
yeah, I
of
remember
hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
man.
So yeah, I had to bring that back from Florida this past year, But it was like she has been playing that guitar and others. You know, she's been in bands ever since we were kids, family reunions, whatever. There's always a band, our family doing it. So it's kind of always around us.
Yeah.
And like you said, we just wanted to pay an homage to them and show them, hey, like, look at, you know, the buck didn't stop there. You know, the next generation has picked up the torch, and we're going to carry on the rock, baby.
So we decided, you know, we're going to just do it. We're just going to plan it ourselves. We're going to plan a tour. We're going to fucking make it happen. So I sent out probably like 500 emails. I just went on Indie on the Move and went to every state and just made a list of venues and started contacting people over and over and over again and saying, hey, we got this window, this amount of time, we're looking for gigs, you have anything open? And so we put that shit together. We were able to, you know, we started here in Phoenix. We played, where the fuck that, Fibber McGee's in Phoenix. I think they're actually in Chandler, but played Fibber McGee's, and then we went to Dallas and played a couple shows in Dallas. And then we were lucky enough to play, I don't know if you ever heard of the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. They have, at the time, they had, you could sign up to play there one night a week, and it just so happened that we worked it out that you have to call in.
You have to call in that day.
Yeah. And they only take like a certain amount of people, and obviously it's in demand.
And we're on the road at this point.
We decided we're going to call on the way to Nashville. So we leave Dallas, and we're in the car, and we just start, all three of us, blowing up their phone, just trying to get through, getting busy signals. And all of a sudden, Wade's like, I'm through. It's ringing. And so, you know, we get through. Obviously, we get signed up, and we're like, okay, we got to be in Nashville in like, I don't even know how many hours, but we're in the car. And we got the chance to play there, and it was a really, really cool place. You know, a lot of people have started off there, and it's kind of a historic little venue. So that was really cool. And then I think we went from there. Yeah, we went to Connecticut. But did we go straight to Maine from there, though? I think we might have went straight to Maine from there.
And then what, Connecticut to Texas again?
We played in Connecticut. We played at a little, like, I guess it was sort of like a boys and girls club in front of some kids. And they were fucking super into it. That was a fun show. It was a really fun show because those kids, like, they didn't care about what the music, like, honestly, they didn't give a shit who we were, if we were old, they just wanted to fucking listen to music. Right. So, you know, they were just super into it. And then the second night, we had our very first sold out show. Nice. Very unexpectedly. We played at this place called the Fez in Stamford, Connecticut. No. And we get in there and the stage is like smaller. I don't know. We could barely fit the three people that we had in the band. And that was enough where you didn't move around. Like, it was like that was all you get. You know, if you did more than that, you were going to hit cymbals or take out mic stands or, you know.
Oh, dang.
And we set up, and this is like a really small, like, restaurant or whatever. And we're setting up, and we notice there's like a bunch of buses and stuff. Because Stamford's really close to New York City. A lot of people kind of stay there. You know, it's cheaper to kind of stay out of New York City.
Right.
And we're like, I want to say, we're close to the end of setting up. And we start seeing people coming in. And we're like, this place is filling up. And lo and behold, it was a bus full of Japanese tourists. And they stayed all night. For 4 hours, we rocked their faces off. They were up, they were so into this shit. They were fucking filming and like cheering. They were refusing people at the door. You know, and we're like, This is the weirdest first sold out experience ever.
Rock music over there. I'm telling you, rock music in that part of the world is.
Yeah.
I can see why they.
Yeah, we're like, we're probably huge in Japan. I don't know, because they love that shit. Yeah. They fucking loved that shit.
Like, my morning show is big in Russia. Like, okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah. You know, you take what you can get. But we had such a good time at that show, and they stayed all night, and they literally watching people from because you could see people, you know, because it was a small place, you could see them going, we don't have room, you gotta go. Like, and I was like, wow. And then, of course, to, you know, put a bow on the story, the manager skips out and doesn't pay us. So we pack up, we're on cloud nine, holy shit, we sold this out. We were supposed to get like $300, right? It's not like we were getting a fucking fortune, you know, and we're like, man, that was incredible. You know, we had so much fun, and it was like the third to last show on the tour, and great way to end because we had to be in Austin in like 30 hours after that show, and we were in Connecticut, so we were gonna sleep for like 3 hours and go to Austin, you know.
Wow.
And so we're on cloud 9. We pack up, and we're like, yeah, where's the guy to get paid? And he just ditched his staff. You know, the poor waiter guy is like, listen, man, he's not here. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean he's not here? You know, he's like, he left. I was like, yeah, but we need to get paid. Like, he's like, I you know, it was messenger. Like, he had no power. I couldn't yell at him. Like, yelling at him, you know, he's had to fucking tell me.
Right.
And I'm trying to call this guy. He's not answering his phone. You know, he just fucking ghosted us. Wow. You know, and if we had had a couple of days, I would have tracked him down. But we were like,
Sure.
we got to be in Austin in like 30 hours, and it's like a 20-hour drive. You know,
Yeah.
so
Counting our losses, and
yeah.
we left, man.
yeah. So we never got paid, but we made it to our shows in
sold
Austin.
out shows.
We did, you know, and it made a cool story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the name of the place was the Fez in
The Fez.
Stanford,
Yeah.
Connecticut.
So if you guys played the Fez in Stanford,
Make sure you get paid.
make sure you fucking get
make
paid.
sure you handcuff the man
Yeah.
to the banister or something.
He did finally email me back like 3 weeks later, and he was like, you know, I have a policy. I don't give a fuck about your policy, dude. I was like, you said you were gonna pay us $300, and we made you a fucking fortune that night.
Oh, no doubt.
Like, there's no reason that you couldn't have paid us.
Yeah.
You know. So I think we did get some tips. We made like $100 in tips.
Yeah, he was
but-
like, he said something about like the first time someone plays, I don't pay them.
yeah, and I was like,
something
fuck
that.
you, dude.
Really?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
The first time someone plays, they don't pay him?
I think that's what the bullshit he came up
Yeah,
with. Something
but
like
when
that.
we had emailed
Yeah.
before, you know, it wasn't that story. You know, it was like just
it was
a person
like
like
if
that,
we do
you know,
well, you
taking
get,
advantage of people.
We'll give you $300 if we do well that night.
He's like, if you come back, I'll pay you next time. And I'm like, dude, first of
Why
all,
in
why
the
would we
world?
come back? You fucked us.
Why am I controlled if you go
Right.
And
Uh,
we're in the Southwest, like it's not gonna be
Oh,
a
yeah.
thing where we come back.
this was a
Yeah.
one-time thing. Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
That's okay. I mean, like I said, it was a positive experience for the show.
It was,
We packed
it
it
was.
up, and everyone was having a good time. It's like, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a complete loss. Maybe we lost money on the owner being a dick, but and people from around the world enjoyed our music, and we
Sure.
had fun with it.
Yeah.
You know. So,
Gary wants your guys' info.
want my
Yeah.
info?
Wants to play with you guys.
Yeah, check. It's if you want to email us, it's info@thescorched.com.
Yeah, we'll send him that on
Yes.
a DM.
Yeah.
And so-
Or anybody else out there listening who wants to book the band,
Sure.
it's the easiest way to do it too. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
just email us there.
Yeah.
They're not used to playing for free, but check it out. Maybe they might make an exception.
If it's for a good cause, we'll play for free.
Hell yeah.
What was
That'd be so-
your? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you don't.
Go ahead. You do.
Okay. That'd be so funny if you guys went to Japan and there was just a bunch of posters.
Yeah,
Dude, that would be fucking awesome.
Everyone
I would
loves
be
us.
so all
We're
about
famous.
that.
You guys have like action figures, anime characters dedicated.
Please! Oh god, that would be so awesome.
It's like on that movie Oh Brother Where Art Thou, where they're like all over the country and they don't realize they're famous.
Right,
And they're
right,
like scorched.
right. Getting mobbed
Wait
in
a
the malls
second.
and shit. That would be fucking awesome.
That'd be so
No,
funny.
right.
It's them. We're like looking. Who?
You.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Someone points at you, you look behind you, you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
What?
It's one of those.
We see like
moments.
impersonators of us and shit. Be like, oh my god, they already know
They come
about
up to you.
this.
They come up to you.
They are on top of this shit.
You're pretty good, man. But I've seen better.
They have like whole shrines dedicated.
I hope so. That would be great.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
Can't do a road trip, but
No, we'll just
do a
go,
trip
yeah.
to Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just fly
I don't know
over
why I imagine us like. Maybe it's because I feel like we can't afford a flight, but for some reason I imagine us like on a
on a
boat.
boat.
You know, arriving on like a steamship.
Come off like a cargo boat. Stowaways. Let's see if we can make it in this land.
Oh, man.
So wait, do you ride inside the cargo boat or inside the cargo container?
We actually.
I think we'd have to be in the container.
We actually have to. We got found, and we had to shovel coal into the engine for the remainder of the trip.
swab the galley.
I had to
Stowaway.
That's it.
Dang.
No free rides, baby. No
That's
free
right.
rides.
Ass, grass, or cash.
And I'm fresh out of gas and never mind.
So, what you, Casey? You've been on tour before, right?
Yeah, so haven't done a couple of small full band tours, but since I moved out here to Vegas and I've kind of been wrangling people for the band for Second Echo, I've been doing a lot of like solo acoustic shows, and probably my most memorable time was, I think it was 2018. I started in like middle of January. I left Vegas, went to Phoenix. I did like a big horseshoe, so I did Vegas to Phoenix to LA, all the way up to San Francisco, up the coast, then back down to LA, back over to Phoenix, and then back up to Vegas. And it was like, I started in mid-January and got home like March 2nd or something. It was like 6 weeks, and
Oh, wow.
it was amazing.
That's
like, just
so awesome.
booked like breweries and wineries and pubs, and just I slept in my car the whole time. It was so exciting. And whenever you're out doing that, like, you're part of you is like, what in the world am I doing? You know, it's like you're out there, but, and you know, the amazing thing was at the end of the tour, like, I came out pretty far ahead as far as like I was able to book some decently paying shows. I did a few free ones here and there, and then of course on off nights I'm always like hitting up open mics, because that's kind of how you branch out into new territories, you know, to get new
Right.
shows. So on off nights I was always going doing open mics and stuff. But that is one of those times, like, I always think about when I'm 80 and like have dementia and I have like 5 memories left, you know, in my mind. That's gonna be one of them, just because I can remember that period of time, you know, just, it was a slog. It was, you know, just, again, it was 6 weeks long, but I mean, just probably one of the most fulfilling and joyful times of my life, man. It was just incredible getting to see parts of California up along the coast in January that I'd never seen. I mean, it's just unbelievable experience.
I relate to that so hard. Yeah. That's a great description of being on the road too.
Yeah.
It's this like duality of you know, suffering and like incredible joy.
Yeah. Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Well, and maybe it's funny when I think of like, people say like, is what you do make you happy? And I always like making this distinction. I always say, I can't always say that it makes me happy, but I'm fulfilled by it, and I feel like that's different, you know, like to say, because it doesn't always make you happy. Like you said, sometimes it's miserable.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm always like, every year at the end of the year, I try to like look back and go, this is the amount of shows I did this year. This is what I did, and I'm always like, God, I'm so grateful. You know, that I get to, and it's so fulfilling that I get to do this. And that just puts everything into perspective. It's not always about being happy. It's about doing something that fulfills you, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It just, you know, it's almost a need to some extent because of how, you know, it really fills the bucket, you know what I mean? And I'm sure it's similar for you. Music has really always been my saving grace, you know, whether even before I started playing it, just listening to it, you know? And so, like you said, the fulfillment is really what is the key. Yeah. And I think you have to have that when you're on the road. I mean, because it can be hard. It can be very frustrating. It can be devastating at times.
Oh, sure.
You know.
Oh yeah.
But you have to. It has to be a real passion. You know, it has to be something deeper than just I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like you said, because it's not always going to be fun.
That's really good. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of musicians that I've interviewed. Everybody, their families always come from a musical background. Their parents or their grandparents or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's always really cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I've got that on both sides.
You should be
for
passing
sure.
that on to your kids. It's one of the few things that'll always be there for you. You know what I mean? And it is an outlet that you'll always have for your whole life. And you know, with me and my daughter, and I know Kris with his kids, it's the same thing. It's like we definitely try to impart that onto our kids, and to know that, you know, for us it's very accepted. They don't have to fight to get an instrument or play music or you know, then that's the wonderful thing, you know. It's like they can always
creativity and art and
should be
yeah.
It should be nurtured, you know what I mean? So
Because I can remember some of my very first memories on my mom's side of my grandfather singing to me when I was a kid, you know, and singing to me he used to sing me this Choo Choo song, and he used to, you know, just there's like these little things, and right before, you know, probably a few years before my grandfather died, I had the forethought to record him, and I had him sing for me, and I got on a recording, and you know, after he passed, I put it on CDs and gave it to everybody. But you know, like you said, just the value of that, and how it's such a gift to give to kids to have, you know, artistic expression.
Oh yeah.
And I feel fortunate that we grew up that, and I feel fortunate for that.
yeah, just having it around us, not even realizing, you know, how big of an influence that is. Where you talk to other people and they just didn't have it around them, and it's not a force in their life like it is for us. And you know, everyone has their own outlets and stuff, but I do feel bad for people who don't have music in their life, because it's such an amazing thing, you know. So
I know, it's like I get so angry when they start talking about taking music out of schools and stuff that, and it's just like, of all the things, like, not that, you know.
Yeah. You know, you can cut a football team. Don't cut the music department, because that's the future.
That's
gonna take, and that's for everyone, not just
exactly. Guess what? Everybody can
that's
play
humanity.
music.
I mean, that's like across languages, across everything in our species that is unique to us, you know. And from the point that we could hit a stick on a rock, like people creating that together,
and
you know what I mean?
And,
I just think, how can you take that away? That is such innate to what we are.
Art,
you know,
in general, you know, it's just you can't. I don't know. It is very interesting, the things that they decide to cut first, and the things that they actually place importance and value on. It's just sometimes.
And I know with like
sometimes
with my
it's ass
kids,
backwards, but it is what it is.
It's you know, and I know you have the same attitude of like, I always wanted my kids to see me chasing my dreams, you know, and that can change. It doesn't, you know. I feel like we're a very successful band. We don't have to be huge to feel success. But I think it's so important for my kids to see me doing it. You know, my kids have been seeing me do it since they were tiny, you know, playing music. And I remember there's pictures of my daughter behind Derek's drum set, you know, when she was like 2, you know, and those kind of things are so special because it makes them realize that it's possible to do that.
Right.
You know, and I remember growing up, my parents were consumed with their lives and consumed with what they were doing. And, you know, it is what it is, but I always felt like, you know, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like just doing the grind. I want to be living my life, and my wife feels the same way, and I want my kids to feel like that. I want them to feel like, yeah, you got responsibilities, you got shit you got to do, but at the same time, you should still, you know, cultivate the things that you love, and that sort of thing. So
feed your passion.
The thing that's been really, I guess, troubling to me about what you just said, I completely agree, but the thing that has been a little bit troubling is, in the last year, I have had so many friends and acquaintances, and you know, just Facebook friends that I know that I follow musically. I feel like COVID was this kind of great reckoning for not just musicians but entertainment in general. And I have had more friends and people who are just like, I'm done. Like this thing that I've been pursuing my whole life, I'm done. And I empathize with that, and it breaks my heart. And you know, I'm not one to be like, no, just hold on, because that's the decision you have to make. But there's always a part of me that, like, my heart breaks when I see that, because I know if I ever had to come to that point in my life where I was so just fed up and sick that I walked away from this, I think that would be a dark day for me. So I can't imagine that for somebody else. And so the reason I say that is I really appreciate you guys, like, you know, being in a band probably doesn't look like right now what you thought it would look like when you were 18 or whatever, or 17 or whatever. Same with me, you know, it's this thing of, but you evolve and you adapt and you go, I'm doing it. You know, it doesn't look anything like I thought it was going to when I was a teenager, but I'm doing it. You know, and I feel like if people can hold on to that, you've got 2 kids, you're married, you have a day job, but you still get to go and do this thing, you know. So I love it when people can have that kind of long-term vision of what they want to do, and they do it, even if it's part-time or little bit snippets here and there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember the first like, oh man, it's bringing back, because it just, like you said, it just, you know, persevering through that, and I lost my train of thought, but it reminded me for some reason about my first ever open mic, and like how I think that's part of the reason why I feel like that, you know what I mean? Because I remember how hard it was when I first started, and how far away all that felt, and I can't help but think back on that, and the family aspect of things, you know, and I got booed off the stage the first time I did an open mic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then because I played Nutshell, which I play very well now, I made it a mission of mine to make it play it very well. But right after I played, a guy got up the same and played that song right after me and played it better, like almost as like, you suck. You know, but I still kept doing it. But
that
it's
sounds like a toxic open mic.
it was for
That's
sure.
horrible.
But I feel the same way. Like I can't imagine giving.
That's
It was horrible. It was horrible. So I'm glad I stuck with it, but I can't imagine giving that up. Like you said, like even you talking about it, I could feel that kind of pit in my stomach.
Yeah.
You know, I just.
Yeah.
And what makes me think of is like what they must be going through to
Yeah.
give up something they love so much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that's got to be a hard decision to make with it, you know, with any situation, whether it's, you know, the past year and a half that everybody's been going through,
Yeah.
or just falling out of love with, you know, because sometimes that happens too.
Yeah.
And you can tell that with some, you know, you can tell when a band's getting ready to break up because they don't gel anymore. They're not having fun on stage, and they're just they bring out that, okay, I gotta be up here with these assholes.
It's a job.
And
Yeah.
you know, I'm here because I have to, not because I want to.
Right.
And then it's really heartbreaking from my standpoint, or from, you know, an audience standpoint, to see a band that you love so much all of a sudden just fall apart.
Yeah.
And then you're just going, where'd the passion go?
Yeah.
Where'd the drum? You guys had yesterday. You guys were at practice and you're jamming and you're loving it, and today you're going, fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I mean, something happened.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and even within bands, you can kind of, I'm sure you guys can attest to this, you can tell when one of the band members is on the way out, because you show up to that rehearsal and this thing that is supposed to be the outlet. You're like, your life is crazy, but you come here because this is supposed to be your release and your outlet.
Right.
And those guys are showing up with horrible attitudes and all this stuff. And then you're like, okay, this is not going to last long.
Or they show up drunk, or they show up just obliviated. Whatever. You know. And it's like, okay.
It's like, I should not feel like pulling teeth. I should not be telling you guys to have fun with this.
You should. This should already be fun for you.
So
This is supposed to be a release. This is supposed to be.
Yeah.
The one place where you can forget about all the other shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Yeah. It's really funny because I've been trying to do pre-recorded shows, and it's really hard for me to do that because I like the spontaneity of it.
Yeah.
You know, live shows for me. I mean, even if I don't have any guests, I'm just playing music. It's a lot. It's something that's live.
Mm-hmm.
And pre-recording it, I'm like, I can't get in it because there's too many things going around, or I'm thinking about something else, and it's just like, okay, I can't do this.
I feel like you start to get in your head about it when you pre-record stuff.
You do.
know?
You think you overthink
Yeah.
things. It's like, okay, let's just. But if I record it like I'm recording a live show, then it might come out a little
smoother.
bit
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
You'll always find a system that works.
Oh
You gotta get on the road soon, huh?
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not in a rush. As long as
Yeah, we've been going for almost hour and a half.
Yeah. It's
These
been
are
a
always
good
good- these are always
conversation,
good shows,
man. You
I
know,
know.
we've been trying to do this for so long. I'm not going to be running out of here.
So what you got? You got anything?
I do. Have you guys done Battle of the Bands before?
We have, actually. Not as this iteration, but right before COVID, which is...
I meant like individually, like.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean like, what do you mean?
I meant like each individual person had, like with the band. You were,
Yeah. I've done a few in the
Yeah.
course of my time, but the last one we did was the Vakin
Yeah.
of the bands, which got cut off because of the COVID thing. So, yeah, we've done some Battle of the Bands. I've won a couple back in
My
high
very
school.
first show was a Battle of the Bands.
Oh wow.
I had only been playing guitar for 3 months. It was at a boys and girls club. And I told my friends that we're playing in this and you guys have to do it with me because I knew 2 of my friends play guitar. So we made one play bass and then we made my friend Jesse. It's a crazy story that I could get into, but we bought a $100 drum set from him in Belfast, Maine out of someone's basement. And the only reason we made Jesse play drums is because he played cello, and he was the only one that knew how to actually play music. So we're like, you're the best candidate for keeping us in time.
Oh, wow.
And we played this Battle of the Bands. We didn't have a name. We got there, and they were like, what's your name? And we were like, well, what position are we playing in? Because there was like a few bands, and they're like, you're the 5th band. And we said, well, okay, well then we're lucky number 5. And so we played this show. We played 3 songs. We played a Op Ivy song, we played a Rancid song, and then my buddy wanted to play that song from Lit, the my own worst enemy. So it was like this weird contrast.
Oh, wow.
We had a fucking good time. We had a really good time.
Wow.
So, I've done numerous Battle of the Bands, and I have a little bit different take on Battle of the Bands. I think they're a scourge and an abomination that just prey on bands and musicians, and I hate them. I think that most of the people who put them together, most of the people, not everybody, but most of the people who put them together have no concern for furthering the local music scene, which bugs me because it will be an establishment that will say, hey, we're going to do this battle. Oh, by the way, the winner is whoever brings the most people. So then you have these really horrible bands. And the venues
sucks.
are like trying to sell drinks or whatever. Like, on a very rare occasion, you'll have a battle, which I think really is the only legitimate battle, is when you have like a producer or a record label guy or an exec or somebody who comes in like, we're gonna judge this, and then here's the prize. But like this whole BS of like, oh, you're gonna have bring the most people and you're gonna have your vote, and I'm like, it's all horrible. And every experience I've ever had with those they've been ridiculous.
Well, to that end, when we
Yeah.
played Vakin, I would say arguably we may have won that. We came in second because we didn't have as many people as the people that came in first.
Yeah.
You know.
There was quite a few people here here in Vegas that went to that, and Baker's Dozen was one. Minus was another.
That's
one.
right. Yeah.
I think Minus won that one in Vegas, and it was kind of. I think there was Baker's Dozen was the most professional on stage. I had seen Minus play before, but they played on a crowded stage, so they really didn't move a whole lot. The last couple of times that I did see them play, they were on small stages. But then when they had the House of Blues stage, everything was spread out.
I think I saw you there that night at that show. Minus, dude.
Minus,
They
killed it. They were like, what?
They look like a professional act. I
Right,
mean, their stage presence and everything. It was
just
incredible.
amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, I think battle bands are fun when they're like for charity or if they're just in good fun.
Yeah.
It also makes me think about like the venues that make you sell tickets, you know, and it's like there's a that's a scourge too.
Yeah,
There's places that
Totally.
make you sell tickets to make them money, and they expect you to bring the crowd. They expect you to build the show.
Right.
I don't agree with that shit. That's not how you build a scene. Like, we're there to entertain your guests that should already be at your venue.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry no one wants to go to your bar. We'll play to your empty bar, but that's not our fault that you have no one in your bar. You should have people in your bar every night, right? You know, it shouldn't matter whether or not we're there. And I think that's such a shitty mentality. And
Our job is to keep them.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
if you're doing your
Yeah,
part in cultivating a music scene and being a venue, then you have people who are going to be there regardless.
Yeah.
And like you just said, our job is to keep them in their seats. You know what I mean? But you can't rely on a band to bring their friends and family and whoever every single time.
Because
like,
that's ultimately who you end up selling to. I mean, you only sell to a very small
or other
percentage
bands
of people
like,
that are
hey, you
randomly on the
create
street.
the bill and bring in all
it's
these
like
musicians who are going to pay the
0.5%,
bar.
you know?
Oh yeah.
But to that point though, the gig last night at Boulder Dam, that's a perfect example of when a venue values live music, they work it into their budget. They don't sit there and go, you have to sell tickets. They say, we have $300 per show that we're going to pay to the bands. That's part of their budget. And those venues always get, like, you get what you pay for. If you're going to bring in a band that you're not going to pay, you're going to get a horrible band. If you have that budget, you're going to bring in quality bands. You're going to become known for bringing in quality bands, and then you're going to become known for as a music venue.
And then people show up to see bands
but a lot of venues and establishments are just so short-sighted.
And I think it kind of, to some extent, starts pitting the bands against each other, because everybody's competing. Everybody's trying to get in the front. Not to disparage Phoenix, but there's a pretty big problem with that in Phoenix. I've been playing in the Phoenix scene for a decade now. And not like we're huge, but, I played a lot of shows in the Phoenix area, and there's a lot of places like that. It seems less now after COVID. People seem to have a different mentality about it. But there was, for a long time, it was really putting the bands against each other and really, non-collaborative.
Separate islands and whatnot.
Right.
There's a lot of it now that everybody's drawing more to cover bands than original bands.
Especially here.
Especially here in town, because it's, the main reason why I did the local Uprising show is for local independent bands, original bands. I got questions. Oh, how come you never asked me about stuff? Dude, do something original. I'll have you on the show. Everybody knows those songs. Those songs have already been made famous by somebody else. You play it really well. You're a good musician, but do something original.
Right.
Take that as an influence. Take that song you know really well. Use it as an influence to write something of your own.
And do something on your own. And then, the guy finally got into an original band, and I had him on the show.
You're like, there you go, man. I told you.
But it's just, I was gonna have him on the show anyway because he's a good bass player. So everybody knows him as Fucko. So he was always, well, how come you don't ever ask me? I said, 1, you're an asshole. 2, you don't do anything original. But no, he's a good guy. He had I guess he had some spine surgery, neck surgery or something.
Oh, jeez.
So he's recovering from that. Yeah. So I can't give him too much of a hard time.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just, the way things are, it's just, and that creates, you have your cover bands and then you have your original bands. And there's a lot of competition there.
Right, and again, I don't feel like there needs to be with that either.
Yeah, there shouldn't be. It's
everyone can play bills with each other. We've played with Smashing Alice, even we played with them at Sahara Lounge. There should be collaboration between cover bands, tribute bands, and original bands. Like, there's something to be said for all of them, and they can all be on the same bill, and everyone will still enjoy the night. It's music.
Ultimately, we're trying to give people a good time. We're trying to give people a minute to not think about the bullshit, and have a good time, and that's part of that. There's.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that whole putting bands against each other in this competition thing is just, I get it to an extent, because you want to play your best, you want to be the best. That's a healthy thing, but when it becomes, non-collaborative and trying to push people aside, I just don't, I just feel like it's shitty.
It shouldn't be a cutthroat thing, you know what I mean?
Like, and a lot of times that's perpetuated from the venues.
People can enjoy several bands. There's no reason to be in competition with each other. Is the ultimate point. Nobody has just one band that they listen to and that's it. If that were the case, I would get the competition, but it's not. Everybody likes several different things. They can like you, and then the cover band, and then a different type of band altogether, and then maybe Beethoven. Who knows? You know what I mean? It's like, but you're not necessarily. I don't get the artist competition thing. It's like people can like several different types of art. They can buy different albums. Like you said earlier, you should be seen collaborating, going to each other's shows, supporting each other.
Sure. Oh yeah. And, it's like I've seen you at a lot of shows.
I make a point to do that, man, because I love music, first of all, and second of all, I like to show the support for the community,
Oh, yeah.
I don't expect it back, but maybe someday, it'll happen.
Sure. And that's why there's a lot of people that do go to your shows.
Exactly.
Because, and it's just like, there's, if I do something and I put on a show, and if I need to put, it's like, I need to get 5 bands to do this show. There's people that say, yeah, we'll do it. You support us, we can support you.
Yeah.
And it's me and Wade have done that several times. Wade's come out to, blood drives and car washes and played. Casey came out and played my birthday. Wade came out and played my birthday.
Yeah, see,
that was awesome.
and that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
It felt special that day.
Yeah.
It was special, man. It was special, and it's special to be able to do something for a friend who's also doing a lot for the music community and stuff too. It's like, and that's what's great about like all our relationships. It's just so symbiotic. We all live well and cohesively with each other, and if you ask something to me, I'm there for you, and it's the same thing. That's what friendship is, man. That's what real friendship is anyway.
Right.
Like, I have very few friends that if I had to get bailed out of jail that I would call. You know what I mean? Or if I had to bury a body and nobody tell anything. So those are the people you
Not
can count
that
as
we
your real
have any
friends.
bodies to bury.
No.
Just officially.
We're smart enough. We're smart enough to burn them. Don't worry about that.
The views of the Scorched are not the views over at Radio Vegas. There's our disclaimer.
The Scorched burns bodies. We don't bury them.
Oh no, this is great, man. I love this, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you
for
so
coming
much
in.
for having
I
us on
appreciate
and
it.
being
Thank
so
you, man,
supportive.
for having us, man.
And,
It's so good. And it was always a fun time being in the studio and seeing things develop on your side too, man. So love it.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Mhm.
We're not done yet. So
But things are awesome
coming
and
along,
coming
for
along
sure.
great, man.
yeah, we got some good things coming up. We are in the process of getting approved to go to Sturgis.
Nice.
And
Oh, that
broadcast
would be
out.
friggin'
And,
awesome.
film and do
Hell
all
yeah.
kinds of stuff. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
That would be huge.
It's gonna happen.
Also, Fall Festival in Pahrump in September. So
Yeah.
we'll be doing that 4-day event too.
Hells yeah.
Very cool.
That's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we might be going out to Cali before we go to Sturgis for their bash. They have like a 17-band bash that they do every year.
Damn, that's amazing.
Wow.
So we're going to go out there and go broadcast that too.
Yeah.
Fun, man.
Nice.
It'll be a lot of fun. So we're kind of getting out there. C4OC is our sister station out in Orange County.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And so it's a lot of fun. I mean, there's
New
there's
things
a lot of good
developing every
things-
day, man.
Good things coming. New
Oh, yeah.
logo. We're gonna get some new merch and stuff. So
Hell
It's
yeah.
so awesome, like I
Yeah.
said, just to have that support for each other, and like I said, I've known you for a long time now, and seeing things develop from
it's been about almost 4 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see you're on the up and up, man. You're doing great things and getting involved with people who are putting you in the right directions to do even bigger things, because you have a good heart, man, and it's good to see people who have a good heart in position to really actually help other people. You know what I mean? And that's where you're gonna be.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It is.
That's
It is,
the truth,
man.
man.
It is.
It's,
We only have so much energy within us, but
Yeah.
at least in our time here, we can affect people in a positive way and do everything we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you only got so much energy. So.
That's true. That's why I have help.
Oh yeah, carry the torch, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks for having us, man.
Oh, thank you for coming and spending them. I know you guys, probably didn't get out of there till late
Oh yeah.
and stuff. And,
No
been
worries.
waking up early.
Oh.
It's all good, man.
Myself,
That's
I'm
shit.
used to it. These two, I can't speak for.
Well, you got a little.
I got a little one. She
Yeah,
gets
a
me
little
up. She gets me up early.
Yeah.
I'm up at 6, like.
I was really happy to see your girl there.
Oh yeah. She doesn't get to come up often because we have the baby, you know what I
Right.
mean. But
Right.
it was really nice to have her in the crowd. Like
Yeah.
I told her on the way home, I'm like, I really appreciate you coming out tonight. It was
Yeah.
really nice. So,
Yeah, so we got to talk a little bit. Haven't really spent much time because she's hardly ever out.
Yeah.
So I don't hardly ever see her.
She's
all
definitely a
that much.
homebody type.
Yeah.
In general, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
on the rare occasions that she does decide to come out, it makes me appreciate it that much more, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's not just like an automatic that she's gonna be there. When she's there, I'm like, oh, she's here. I appreciate that.
Right. I didn't really see her face. Well, and at first I thought it was your wife,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, and then I went to the bathroom and I saw your wife.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wait a second.
You're like, wait, how did you do that?
yeah, because check this out. She put her purse underneath the table, right? Your girl did, and then she disappeared for a while. So when I left, she hadn't come back yet. I thought she went and changed clothes and was sitting.
Oh,
She says, "I was like, hey, you're sitting over here now," and she just kind of looked at me like, "What?" When I came back and she comes back, she sits down, and I went,
Wait a second. That wasn't the person.
Okay, Casey's wife. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun last night. And I said, thank you
Well,
guys.
we
for
always
Thank you
coming.
for coming out, man.
coming
Making the
and-
drive. That always,
Yeah.
dude, we
The
appreciate
support
that
means
so
a lot
much.
to us.
Yeah.
Oh,
For sure.
More than we
I
can say.
love watching you guys play because it's a different show every time. I mean, it's not the same. You can't put a pattern on your show.
No.
Yeah.
And go, okay, well, it's going to sound like this.
Even if we wanted to at this point, we couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we've evolved and gone in so many different directions over the course of the band. It's like, even if we wanted to do it the same way every time, it's like,
Yeah.
that has never been our goal.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's never been our goal.
Yeah.
Our goal is to be adaptable and to, like you said, provide a different experience every time.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So
Right.
I'm glad that you appreciate that, man, and I hope that you're not the only one out there who appreciates that. So.
Oh, yeah. It's actually really cool because, Casey doesn't have a great big kit, and it sounds amazing.
Oh, cool.
It sounds
Thanks,
really
man.
good.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
You don't need to have a double bass and
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
cymbals and
Yeah.
all that other stuff. You just, you have what, a 4, 5 piece?
It was a 4-piece, just
Yeah.
playing 4-piece, and then like the one guy came up to me afterwards. I forget who it was. It said like, yeah, your kit sounds really jazzy. Like it's like a little jazz kit, and it
Oh,
does.
jazz
I mean,
kit.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like, it does remind me of a jazz kit, like real
Yeah.
kind of small toms and real small footprint, and so.
Right.
But I don't know.
See,
like,
you use the toms just right, though. I love how
Yeah.
it sounds
Yeah.
so huge. I love that.
yeah. It just works for the set, Like,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It really is really great, and I'm really honored to have you guys as not only just guests but friends.
Yes.
Right back at you,
Absolutely.
brother.
You guys are really cool.
And yeah, thanks
Absolutely.
again,
I
dude, so
appreciate
much
you
for
guys.
having us in and doing this thing and broadcasting across the world. We appreciate that, man. So
Right.
to everybody in Russia and China and UK and America and wherever else you're listening,
Listen to the Scorched.
The Scorched.com.
Listen to Second Echo.
Thousands of
Second Echo.
fans
Yes.
in Japan.
If you were at the Fez, I remember you.
yes, we want that footage. We want that footage.
Oh yeah, that's great. All right, guys, you want to got any last things you want to say?
I think I'm pretty blank. Drawing blanks, man.
That's cool. We'll catch up with you next time, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I won't say anything. A smart comeback was in mind, but I won't say anything. I love my co-host. She is very sweet.
Much love to you all, man. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks a lot, everybody. This is the Local Uprising early Saturday edition. This will be re-aired Monday. I think I'm gonna play this Monday morning.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna go
Hell
out
yeah.
on 87 different countries. It's gonna
Fuck
be.
yeah.
That's
That's
amazing,
what I'm
dude.
talking about.
It's gonna be out there.
Nice.
So that'll be my morning show. Will be this.
Hell yeah.
All right. So I appreciate you guys, and
Keep
we'll
rocking,
catch
brother.
you guys next
Thanks,
time.
brother.
And stay tuned. About 5 o'clock this afternoon, I'm gonna have Michael T. Ross come in. And
My boy. Love that guy.
we'll be doing a nice little interview with him as well. And then I have at 8 o'clock at night, I have Ted Axe up in Canada.
Oh, nice.
Going to be doing a Zoom interview.
Nice.
So be pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, busy day.
Keep him busy, man.
Very fun.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Dude, you need a nap.
Oh, no doubt. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you later.